feel like this year has been super great to be a Jordan 1 fan. And today's sneaker definitely adds to that because it's pretty impressive. So let's take a look. Here we have the box. Definitely what you were expecting in terms of boxes, and I think it's kind of what you want. Just something that's just a regular Jordan 1 box. Let's whip them open and take a look at the Jordan 1 Low Black Toe. Here we have him, guys. Jordan Brand didn't do anything silly with this one. They haven't changed any small details. This is just straight up a Jordan 1 Low Black Toe. And this is a sneaker that not only has a ton of hype behind it, but also a ton of history. But of course, before we get into all of that, you gotta know where to get these things. So these were originally speculated to drop on July the 28th. However, they're now going to be dropping on August the 4th. Now, they retail for $140 for you guys out in the US. However, here in the UK, they go for a whopping £145, which is almost $190 converted. So yeah, prices on these, specifically in the UK, are looking pretty steep. Something I will mention is you do get an extra pair of laces, which happens to be these black ones, which I've already thrown on this sneaker, because these come laced with this red pair of laces, which I really don't like. I just don't like the look of them when they're on. They don't even really match the color that's on the back. They're a little bit more saturated and vibrant, and just overall when they're laced up on this pair of shoes, I just personally don't like the way that they look. Now, the black laces definitely look a lot cleaner, and it matches the tongue, so it's kind of like the safe option to go with. But you could potentially throw a pair of white laces, and that could look pretty clean as well, which is something I might try in the future. Alright, let's talk about materials, which I think is by far, at least in my opinion, the most impressive part about this pair of shoes. I mean, it was definitely something I was more surprised about when I unboxed this pair of shoes, just the fact that they've actually added some decent leather on here. Now, it is a little bit more of a mixed bag because there's kind of a tier list going on in terms of how nice the leather feels in hand. So for starters, by far the most buttery soft leather that you're getting on this sneaker is all of the black overlay panels. So that's around the toe box, acting as the mud guard, the eye stays, and that feels just really nice. It wrinkles up when you press it down. It just overall feels a lot more premium. Now, the white leather panels that you find on the toe box, medial and lateral sides, that feels pretty okay. I'm not mad at it at all. It feels better than some other Jordan 1s. And overall, I don't think you're going to be mad with it at all. Take a look at the toe box press test. It squishes down nicely and just overall feels relatively soft. However, this nice buttery material does not extend through the entire sneaker, because around the back, specifically for these red panels, that's where it feels a little bit more on the cheaper side, not as premium as the rest. Overall, I would say the package on this pair of shoes in terms of materials is pretty solid. Hey, in the grand scheme of things, it's definitely better to have the softer leather on the front of the sneaker than the back, so at least we could be happy about that. The Jordan 1 Black Toe has a really great history. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this colorway is one of the original Jordan 1s from 1985. And I think Jordan Brand releasing this low version right now, it kind of feels like the perfect time. People are more hyped about Jordan 1s than I've seen in a very long time. And there's also been a couple true retros of the original Black Toes. The most recent one was back in 2016. And then of course they did the satin women's pair in 2019. I don't know if you can necessarily count the Union Jordan 1, but it definitely plays a part in the Black Toe history, as that's what that colorway is inspired by. Now, one of the most recent ones is the non-OG Jordan 1 Low Black Toe that dropped in 2019. And looking at the current resale of that pair of shoes, it is ridiculously high. So these being an OG cut Jordan 1 Low, I can imagine these becoming more expensive over time than that non-OG Jordan 1 Low Black Toe. Generally speaking, OG cut Jordan 1 Lows tend to be a lot more sought after than the non-OG cuts. Definitely think that this pair of Jordan 1 Lows is going to age pretty well. I mean, just looking at it, it almost seems inevitable that this is going to be one of those sneakers in a few years that just ends up being super expensive and super sought after. But hey, we're gonna have to wait and see what the future holds. I think it's also worth talking about the potential Jordan 1 High Reimagine that's been rumored to release. This one kind of seems like a bit of a gamble. Not only could it be pretty different from what you typically expect, given that the upcoming Royal Reimagines are literally all over suede instead of leather, but even the rumors of this pair dropping are a bit shaky. I mean, some people say that it's coming this year, some say that it's dropping early 2024, and some say that it's not dropping at all. So yeah, I mean, unless you absolutely hate low-top Jordan 1s, then this seems like the best black toe option right now. And at the end of the day, like I said, 2023 is a great year to be a fan of the Jordan 1 silhouette. We've been getting solid colorways, some that are actually still available or even on sale, and that could be because of a few different variables. Maybe it's just oversaturation from Jordan brand releasing so many different colorways, or it could just be that the hype is slowing down. But as we know, hype for the Jordan 1 silhouette goes up and down, but the one thing we can't be certain of is that the Jordan 1 is always going to be that sneaker. Jordan 1 is just synonymous with sneaker culture. No matter what, it's always going to be there. And this colorway is definitely up there as one of the most iconic Jordan 1s. Now, of course, we've got to talk about sizing, which if you didn't know, the Jordan 1 always fits true to size, and that goes for the lows and the highs. At least that's for me personally. I've always stayed true to size, so that's what I'm going to recommend to you. All in all, this sneaker is a go. It's a great colorway, an iconic colorway, and it's also got decent materials. So if you were considering picking these things up, I think it's a great opportunity to grab them this year for a better price than you would have a few years ago. So listen, good luck on the release. I do expect these things to sell out unless there's a ridiculous amount of stock on them, so we'll have to wait and see. But if you were considering it, it's a solid pickup and probably one of the best Jordan 1s of this entire year. But of course, let me know what you think of these things down in the comment section. But at the same time, if you're on the fence about these things and you wanted a slightly more affordable option, well, check out this video for the top 10 best Jordan 1s under retail.